Financial planners talk about this tool all the time. It's in every conversation about money that experts have. The rich praise it, yet it is an enemy to the masses. It binds people and enslaves them, yet has the power to grow wealth at unprecedented rates, even more than compounding itself. What is this tool that I speak about? Debt. That's right, that four-letter word that sends shudders down the back of almost everyone you know. That word that makes the savvy business person rub their hands together with glee. It has the power to create and the power to destroy. Let's discuss it further and learn how you can utilize it to your advantage. Understanding debt. Now, if you haven't had much experience with debt, other than it's bad, you may think that any kind of debt is bad. I'm here to tell you that debt isn't always bad. It's how you use it that determines if it's good or bad. How can we differentiate good debt from bad debt? Well, let's explore that. Good debt is debt that you use to help increase your income and net worth. If you're confused on how debt increases your net worth, let me explain. Say you want to buy a property, say a house, for $400,000. You only have enough money to put down $100,000. What you have to do is go to a lender and get a mortgage for the remaining amount of $300,000. This mortgage is debt that is tied to your house. As you pay down your mortgage, your equity in your house goes up. Your equity in your house can also fluctuate with housing and market demands. The higher your equity, the more you are worth. Yes, the mortgage cuts into your net worth, but it enables you to buy an asset that you can sit on and allow to increase in value. You can also utilize the house to rent out, bringing in some additional income for you. This is just one example of good debt. A second example is student debt. Say you want to go to school for an in-demand skill, and it costs you $10,000 for the education. You take out a loan for $10,000, get your skills, and you find a job that enables you to earn more money thanks to your new skills. The point of good debt is to help you obtain skills or assets that will help you earn more money in the long run. Business leverage good debt all the time to increase their businesses, so it's a worthwhile avenue to ponder for yourself. Now, let's talk about bad debt. Bad debt is the exact opposite of good debt, where it decreases your net worth. Say you have a credit card with a limit of $10,000. You use that credit card to pay for day-to-day purchases. The debt on your credit card now represents money that you owe, and you didn't get any assets that will enable you to make money. What's worse, if you don't pay on time, you will increase the cost of that debt with interest. Another common example of bad debt is a car loan. While the car can help you get from A to B, and may be necessary for a job, it doesn't appreciate. Moreover, it costs money to fuel it, have insurance on it, and for regular maintenance. The longer you drive a car, the less valuable it becomes, and the more costly it can be, not just from a loan perspective, but from a cost of running perspective as well. The power of leverage. Now that we've discussed the difference between good and bad debt, let's discuss how debt can accelerate your wealth building. Let's go back to the mortgage example. Let's say that the house that we want to buy is $400,000. If we assume that we start with $0, save $1,600 a month, and get an average return of 4%, we'd have to wait over 15 years before we'd have enough money to buy the house outright. That's also assuming the house price doesn't change in those 15 years, which is highly unlikely. Now, instead of waiting all that time to buy a house, let's assume that we can purchase the house with a 10% down payment and take out a mortgage for the remaining amount. To save $40,000 and to get a mortgage for $360,000, all other variables before remaining the same, it would only take about 2 years to save that money. Not only do we acquire an asset in far less time, we can build equity in the house with appreciation and renovations, thus increasing our wealth in a much faster time. Now, what many people are doing is buying a home for the purpose of renting it out, either by room, floor, or the entire house. When a house is rented out, it creates an income stream for the homeowner that will help reduce the mortgage costs on the house or pocket some extra money for the homeowner, thus increasing their wealth even further. Strategies for leveraging debt safely. Now that we have the example, let's discuss strategies on how to use debt. As discussed, using debt to purchase a rental property or home is a prime example of how to leverage debt. Another way to do that is to buy a business that will generate an income. This could be you applying for a loan to purchase equipment to start a new business, or to buy an existing business that's profitable. The hope is that the business will generate enough revenue to pay the debt and pocket the rest for you. This is how almost all businesses start. You can also use debt to buy stocks in a company. Typically, you'll open a margin account with a brokerage firm and then use the leverage they offer you to buy and sell stock. This can be a lucrative way to accelerate your wealth quickly, as it allows you to buy more stocks than you could previously own before. That said, using debt is always a risky proposition. Things may not turn out for your house, as your market could experience a housing crash, decreasing the value of your property. The business you bought or started may not be able to generate the income you were expecting, leaving you to cover the remaining costs out of your own pocket. And the stock market may go against you, leaving you vulnerable to margin calls from your broker. Whatever you decide, make sure you have a solid business plan and model that will work for you. It's also wise to have contingency plans made up in the event things go sideways. One final note in this section, make sure you have a good credit score. Maintaining a good credit score will enable you to have more favorable terms for loans, such as lower interest rates and potentially a bit more grace. Common debt mistakes. Now, we've all made mistakes with debt. The most common is on overextension of your finances. If you borrow more money than you can afford to pay back, it will haunt you day and night and enslave you for a long time. It creates stress beyond belief and is a horrible way to live life. Make sure that whenever you use debt, whether it's good or bad, you will want to make sure you can pay it off. The less you overextend yourself, the better off you will be. Another common mistake people make with debt is the fact that they buy depreciating assets, such as cars, electronics, and vacations. While these things are nice to have, they have no business being put on a loan to pay for. Using credit to buy things that don't appreciate is a recipe for disaster and should never happen at all. If it does, make sure you have a plan to pay that debt off as soon as humanly possible. Otherwise, you'll be ensnared in the trap of debt. Finally, not having a plan to exit your debt is the third most common mistake people make. When people go into debt, they go into it with no plan in mind and how to pay it off. They simply take on the debt and worry about paying it off later. This clearly isn't the way to go about it. Instead of whimsically going about debt like it's no big deal, create a plan on how to pay it off, even if things go sideways. That way, you're covered. As you can see, debt is something that can either help you build your wealth quickly or destroy whatever you possess and enslave you for life. Taking on debt is something that should be considered greatly before taking action. If you have questions or concerns, I'd recommend speaking to a licensed professional on aiding you in making the right choices. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to watch my video on how to pay off debt in a hurry. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.